Hey everyone, Brian Boughner here with Parallel Financial, and I'm really excited about the next few minutes. We're going to be talking about something that is near and dear to everyone's heart. We're going to be talking about residential real estate here in Greenville. You know, no matter where I go, I could be at an event, I could be at my son's basketball game. Everyone's talking about real estate. It's a hot market. There's a lot happening. So here at Parallel Financial, what we did is we brought in an expert. Okay, y'all know me. I'm here at Parallel, but we brought in Garrett Todd. And Garrett Todd's he's born and raised here in Greenville, knows this whole city like the back of his hand. And he helps folks find their dream homes and sell their homes here in Greenville. And we're going to ask him 5 questions about what's going on right now. And he's going to give us his wonderful, amazing knowledge. Garrett, you ready?
I am. Thank you for having me, Brian.
All right, let's get started. Question number 1. The market is obviously really hot here. Where are you seeing value and what is overheated?
So you're absolutely right. The market is really hot here. Value is really in the outskirts of town right now, in some of the areas that are due for development, like the Berea area, the San Souci area, even as far up the Travelers Rest and in Malden. We're seeing the market really overheated in the downtown area as well as the Simpsonville area. To give you some perspective, the median home price in downtown Greenville is now reaching about $500,000. As compared to when you bring in the entire scope of Greenville County, we're at about $287,000 for the average home price.
Wow, that is hot, no doubt.
Yep, absolutely.
What do you think the market will look like here over the next 6 to 12 months?
That's a good question because we have a couple of competing factors here. So the first factor is the Fed has forecasted, 3 or 4 rate hikes over this year, which obviously would affect mortgages and affect, people's ability to afford homes. And what we're also seeing is a huge influx of people moving to Greenville. There's probably about 30 to 50 people the last time I checked that moved to Greenville per day, and that's in the whole county. So that inventory, the lack of inventory, as well as the increased amount of people coming in, is going to probably keep home prices pretty high, even with that factor of the Fed funds rate affecting home prices overall.
Wow. So demand, even though we might see a lift in mortgage rates, this demand here continues to be strong, huh?
I think so. I think that's what I'm hearing on the street. Everybody is saying that because of the popularity of Greenville, it just doesn't look like we're going to see a big drop off home prices anytime soon.
Okay. Well, speaking of that demand, how many people are moving to Greenville? Where are they coming from, and where are they buying?
Well, most of the people that are moving from Greenville, coming from out of state, are coming from places like New York, California. We've seen people from Nevada, Ohio. So people are really coming in from out of state, and they're choosing to locate a lot of times in these outside markets like the Simpsonville, Travelers Rest, Easley. And that again is due to the lack of inventory in the urban core of downtown Greenville. 63% of all moves last year were inbound residents. And
Wow.
like I said, 40 to 50 people a day are moving to Greenville. And I think that slowed down a little bit over the winter. That number is really from, about August until November. And so I think we're going to see some of that pick up again this spring as people start to move a little bit more.
Okay. Well, listen, if say I'm a buyer, I'm looking to buy a home. What are the top 3 things that you would recommend for me?
You've got to be aggressive. You've got to know what you want, and you've got to be persistent. It's a very competitive market out there. We've seen situations where people are putting in very strong offers and still losing out to even stronger offers. So knowing what you want and really being able to pull the trigger when you find that house, and being aggressive and being persistent is very important, because it may come down to we may lose a few houses, and you just have to hang in there, keep putting in offers, keep looking, because even though a house may go off the market and you may not get it, the next house is coming up. Houses are coming up. So that's really the main 3 things that you need to do if you're going to be able to buy a house here in Greenville.
Well, I can't talk about buying unless I talk about selling, right? So if I was selling my home, what are the top 3 things you would recommend there?
Well, you got to know your value in Greenville, and listing it at the right price is very important. In this market, it can be tempting to list your house a little bit higher. And you may achieve that sale. However, if you list it too high, what we've seen is it creates a little skepticism, and the house may sit on the market a little bit longer. So pricing it appropriately is very important. Secondly, if you're going to stay in Greenville, it's highly advisable that you talk to your realtor and have something lined up of where you're going to go. Again, that inventory issue, you don't want to sell your house and then not have a place to go. So knowing where you want to go, especially if you're going to stay in Greenville or a hot market like this, is very important. And the last step is choosing a really good realtor, somebody that has a dynamic mind, that understands how this market's changing, and somebody that's willing to go to bat for you when things get really competitive.
Well, on that note, if you've got any questions, don't call me, because real estate is certainly not my thing. You're going to want to call Garrett Todd with C. Dan Joyner. Obviously, you could tell just by this presentation, he knows what he's talking about. He knows the area. So thank you so much for watching and listening, and have a great rest of your day.